What is up, Emily the Mystic fan? I am so excited that you are here for another video today. If this is the first video you're watching on my channel, welcome. My name is Emily and I'm super excited that you're here. And if this is the millionth video of mine that you have watched, I'm so glad that you're back today because I'm chatting about my own personal life and how I balance my spiritual lifestyle while still being a normal, everyday human being just like you, existing in this third dimensional reality. How do I do it? How do I balance channeling for a YouTube channel like this and my Instagram page while also enjoying the fun of human life? Especially because it's summertime, so my routines and practices have kind of shifted a little bit to allow me more openness and more opportunity to enjoy my own life and the fun of the summer. And so if you are feeling a little bit disconnected from your own practices right now, maybe you've been traveling a bit or busy and kind of all over the place with activities, maybe a big part of your role during the summer is to take your kids to the various camps and you just have a lot on your plate. This video is designed to just give you some fun ideas for kind of adding in new practices into your spiritual routines and rituals, while also just giving you the download on what I do and how I live my life. You may be surprised that I'm not in spiritual ritual or doing extreme, strict spiritual practices for hours and hours every single day. That's just not me. That's not how I choose to live my life. And so I hope that this video helps give you some fun ideas, new routines, new rituals that you can really make your own and that you can tailor some of my suggestions to match you and your current lifestyle. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as with anything that I share on my channel, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So if some of the practices and lifestyle tips that I share don't resonate with you, I'm not offended. I still want you to live your best life, and that may mean following some things that I'm about to share with you, and that may mean taking a totally different path, and I'm okay with that, and I want you to be okay with that too. I personally, my life's experience was that I grew up in the Catholic Church. I've talked about this on a bunch of videos here on my channel. And growing up in the Catholic Church, I was taught a lot of really rigid, strict practices for my religion, but also for lifestyle choices as well. I went to Catholic school for 12 years, so I had to wear a uniform every single day. And my life was pretty rigid. It was pretty structured. And of course, being a kid, children do need a certain amount of structure in order to, kind of teach them the ways of this planet and being a human being. We do need some sort of structure in our lives, and there can be a lot of safety in that. There can be a lot of creativity even in structure and even in routine. But for me, growing up, becoming an adult, and eventually pivoting from being in the corporate world to being an entrepreneur, I needed to find a way to really balance my spiritual practices with my normal human life. Because based on my background in the Catholic Church, I did not want to basically take my spirituality and turn it into another form of ritualized religion. I didn't want to go from the structure and the strictness that I faced in childhood and basically apply that to my life now. I would feel so constricted by that. I would feel like I had lost so much of my personal freedom. And I love freedom. Freedom's one of my main values in life. I'm a Pisces. I'm a mutable sign. I kind of do things. I'm an easygoing person. I do things on my own accord. And so because of that, I need to have some sort of structure in my life while also giving myself the opportunity to have more freer flowing ways of doing things. So one of my big values in my own life, and that I hope to share and provide in this business, Emily the Mystic, is to encourage you to believe that life itself is intimately and extremely spiritual. to live is to be spiritual. So just because you are a spiritual person, a spiritual being having a human experience, doesn't mean that you need to box yourself in to a rigid spiritual practice or hours of meditation a day or a really strict diet or a really strict way of connecting with your guides. That's not me, and that's not one of my values. I don't find that works for me. I've gone through phases in my own spiritual journey where I have had a really rigid routine for myself with connecting with my guides, with my spiritual practices. And I found that it just didn't work because I would put it off, or I would procrastinate, or I would do other things. And so the rigidity just doesn't work for me. And as I was saying, to me, one of my biggest values is that life is inherently spiritual. So you just being here, being on this planet, being alive is spiritual enough, and you are enough, just as you are watching this YouTube video right now. So there isn't anything inherently that you need to do to live a spiritual life. You can go throughout your life feeling connected to divine source, to God, the creator, to your guides without having to do anything. But it does help to add on some practices and ways that feel good to you to make those part of your routine, maybe a few days out of the week, in order for you to help aid in that connection. So I see any sort of spiritual ritual, routine, or lifestyle choices as a value add to your already spiritual life that you're living. And also to me, that means that no matter what you're doing, whether you're going out with friends or you're going out for a good meal or you're sitting on your porch in the sunshine, all of that is spiritual in and of itself. And so I personally don't separate my normal human activities from my spiritual practices, like in the way that I live my life. I don't see one as better than the other. I don't see, my meditation practices that I'm going to tell you about in a second, I don't see those as better than or better for me than the times when I am going out for a friend's birthday. I see them as both really equally important and equally important in my life as well. So it's all about really allowing yourself to enjoy the fact that you are spiritual just by being yourself. And the more we can add on to that, the more you're going to feel connected and the more that you're going to feel supported by your guides. That's the whole point, is to help you to feel connected and supported throughout the course of the day and your week, and the week ahead. If you did not feel connected, if you did not feel close to source, if you felt extremely alone, then it's going to be more helpful for you to have practices to support you. But if you were going already throughout the course of your day, like really just receiving and feeling open to source, then it may not be as important for you to have some of those rituals and routines. So it's going to be up to you to kind of discern and decide how much of your time do you want to prioritize some of the spiritual rituals, and how much of your time do you want to prioritize other things. Again, knowing that nothing is better or worse than the other. It's all equally important. It's all spiritual. So for me, in terms of like my day-to-day routines and rituals, I honestly mix them up all the time depending on kind of what's going on in my life, and especially depending on the season of the year. I have found that seasonality really impacts the way that I keep up with my routines and rituals. I find that during the fall and the winter, I'm like doing a lot of healing work. I'm going inwards a lot. I'm really in kind of reflection mode. I'm really on kind of like business work mode. And I'm really like taking the time to focus on myself and my healing, as well as growing my business. And then during the spring and summer, I start to kind of move away from that a little bit in order to create time for myself to be out and about, to spend more time with friends and family, to do some traveling, to kind of evolve my spiritual practices, to be maybe less time because I may not be home as often and may not have as much time to devote to the inner healing work and focusing on time with my spirit guides, and so on and so forth. So my routines and rituals change all of the time. So as I'm filming this now during July of 2023, this is what's working for me at this moment, but that can change. And of course, I'll share an update with you when that does. But my hope is that wherever you are in the world, especially if you are in the Northern Hemisphere experiencing the summer season, that this will give you some new ideas for you to add or shift up your own practice. And don't be afraid to change it up, shift it up. I mean, seriously, like you can try some of the things I'm going to recommend to you for a week. And if it doesn't work for you, then let it go. And you can try something else, or you can try one thing that I'm going to share with you, do that for a week. Then maybe you want to add on a second thing. So don't be afraid to try things. And it doesn't have to last forever, and you don't have to be perfect at it. And it's not, it's not going to be the end all be all thing that you do for the rest of your life. I feel like a lot of people go into this with a perfectionist mindset, and they're like, it's very rigid, and I'm going to be like a drill sergeant with myself, and I have to make sure that I'm doing my morning meditation at this time every day for this amount of time. And if I'm not really in it, it's not good enough. No, we're going to let all of that perfectionism go. And I want you to feel inspired to incorporate some of these things into your routine without the pressure of getting it right or doing it perfectly. So, again, just to reiterate, some of the things I'm going to share with you are based on me in the summer here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I spend a lot of my time during the week here in the city in Philly, at home, of course, working in and on my business, working with my clients, creating content like this for you guys. And then on the weekends, I have a very strict no work boundary where I do not do work on the weekends. Sometimes I'll share content on social media, but other than that, I don't see clients, I don't take appointments, I don't film content, like I don't film for YouTube on the weekends. So during the weekends, especially during the summer, I try to get to the beach. I am very lucky that I am able to go to the Jersey Shore on the weekends. So I tend to spend a lot of my time outside in nature, away from the screen, away from, social media, life, etc. Life, I mean business, etc. So that I can really enjoy myself and enjoy my time with friends and family. So that's what I'm prioritizing right now. So I would encourage you, before you dive into any of the tips that I'm going to share, to decide for yourself, like, what are you prioritizing? Are you prioritizing your spiritual connection? Are you prioritizing time with your kids, your friends, your family? Are you prioritizing growing a business? Are you prioritizing your current workload and your corporate job? Like, what is the thing or things that you are prioritizing? You may even want to order them, especially if you're like really in your spiritual awakening journey or really needing that extra spiritual support. You may need to really prioritize that and make sure that you are incorporating those practices into your routine, maybe every day, or at least during the traditional work week. Or if you're prioritizing your health, maybe your diet and exercise, your nutrition routines, maybe that's going to, your time at the gym is going to take up more of the time than you would have spent doing spiritual practices. So above all else, you have to decide what you're prioritizing in your life. Again, reminding yourself that that can change, and it can change at any time, and then following some of my suggestions from there. So this is based on me prioritizing travel, time with friends and family members, and prioritizing myself, while also making sure that I am incorporating a bit of my spiritual routine, a bit of the health and fitness piece, a bit of course, the business piece, because that's the work that I do, right? So let's dive in. So for me, let's talk about my morning ritual. It's pretty simple. I like to keep it simple and easy. I don't like to spend a lot of time doing a complicated morning ritual. Why? I am not a morning person. Just inherently, I have never been a morning person. I struggled to get out of bed as a kid. I would sleep until like 9 o'clock as a child, even as a baby, my parents had to like get me out of the crib. I love to sleep. So for me, I am not going to be up in the morning doing something complicated. No way. So when I get out of bed in the morning, what do I prioritize? I prioritize being in my body and not being on my phone. So I don't check my phone as soon as I get up in the morning. It's one of the last things that I take a look at as I'm going throughout the course of my morning. Of course, I'm going to take care of my skincare and my bodily needs as soon as I wake up. And then after I've done that, that's when I will spend, before I get dressed, before I go and do anything else, I will spend between 5 to 15 minutes in my morning meditation practice. And my morning meditation practice is super simple. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to give you the template in a second if you want to incorporate this into your own day-to-day life. Side note, I do have a video copy of this within my Intuition Activation Academy course. It's part of the curriculum that I teach in that program. I still do the routine for myself, so that'll show you how important it is. I've been doing this routine for a long time. And again, it's short, it's quick. For me, it takes me between 5 to 15 minutes. For you, it may take about 15, but that is something I teach in that online course, so make sure you go to check it out. You can get instant access to my video version of that now. But here's what it looks like. I'm breaking it down for you, so you can do it on your own, or if you need the guided version of it, again, you can go purchase that on my website. But here's what I do during my morning meditation. So first thing, I call in my spirit guides. I ask them to be present with me. I allow myself to really feel their energy around me. Then I take a moment and I tune into my auric field and my chakras. So I go step by step, go through all of my chakras to tune into whether they are open and aligned or not. And I set the intention to ask my guides to help me to align my chakras. Once that is done, I set the intention to ground myself. So I visualize a column of light moving through my upper chakras, my crown chakra, up to divine source, and moving all the way back down through my lower chakras, the lower half of my body, and into the earth to connect to Mother Earth. So that helps to ground me and center me and connect me for the day. I find if I don't do this, I'm kind of wobbly throughout the rest of the day. I'm a little bit off. My energy's a little bit off. So that really helps me to stay focused. Then I will ask my guides for help with clearing my auric field. So I ask them to clear any energies that are not mine, to cut any cords, to clear any thought forms that are in my field, which are just bubbles of energy, things I've been thinking about or worrying about. So I ask them to clear all of that away. Once my auric field feels cleansed, then I ask my guides to protect my energy by visualizing a protection bubble around myself. And then finally, to wrap it all up, I set an intention for my day ahead. And my intention for my day ahead is going to be something that I want to see, feel, experience, or receive during the course of the day. Whether that's being really efficient and productive in my business during a work day, or whether that's have fun and enjoy and be delighted by life on Earth on a weekend day, or any combination in between. And I have found that if I don't set an intention for my day goes a little haywire and it can go a little bit off the rails. So I really always try to take a moment to set an intention for my day. Even if I'm too busy to do the 5-minute routine, I will always make sure to set an intention because it really works, you guys. Like, if you take anything away from this video, it's to set an intention for your day. It will work, I promise you. And you will feel so much better and so much more in control of your day. Remember, you create your reality, and you can create your reality by setting an intention for yourself. Energy always follows intention. Then, after I've set that intention, then I'll ask my guides for guidance on how I can actually allow that intention to come true. So maybe that is asking for help with directing my energy in my business. Maybe that's asking for guidance on how to handle a family situation. Whatever I feel like I need help with, I'm going to ask my spirit guides during this morning meditation. Sometimes I don't really feel like I need a whole lot, and so I'll just ask for general guidance, and maybe I won't get a ton of information, and that's okay. But it's the principle of being in the energy, having a connection with them, asking for help. That really seems to make a big difference for me. And I leave feeling connected, I leave feeling inspired, I leave feeling supported and safe for my day ahead, which is so important, right? So once I've done that, sometimes I'll pull a card or two if I feel like it. I don't always do this. I used to do that a lot more when I was just getting started with my spiritual journey. But cards are so fun, and they can be a really great way to start connecting with your guides if you haven't really gotten into a rhythm of that yet. Then once I've done my little routine, then I need to do something to fuel myself and then eventually move my body. So I will get a cup of tea. I don't drink coffee anymore. Sometimes I will for a special occasion if I'm like at a coffee shop and that's what I want, but I don't drink it at home or like when I travel. I just drink tea. Sometimes I'll have an energy drink, you guys. It's not my favorite habit, but I have found for me that limiting my caffeine and not drinking coffee really helps me. It helps my digestion. Coffee really messes up my digestion, so I try to stay away from it. And if I have a busy day, I will occasionally get a sugar-free energy drink like a Celsius or something that's considered to be more, I don't know, they're not healthy for you. I know that. But something that's considered to be healthier than like a Monster or a Red Bull that has a ton of sugar in it. So something that is sugar-free and that is considered to be more of a health beverage. Again, special occasion, special treat if I need the boost. However, tea is usually my go-to. Black tea, chai tea with a little bit of nut milk, a little bit of stevia, easy peasy, delicious. And that is my drink for the morning. And then after that, I drink a lot of water also. After that, I will go and move my body. I am right now loving Pilates classes, specifically Solid Core is the brand. If you have a Solid Core studio near you, go check it out. It's amazing, especially if you've never done Pilates before. They teach you the ropes, they show you everything. And I really got into it. I've been doing it for about a year now and have seen amazing results, so highly recommend that. Otherwise, Pilates in general is amazing. Using a reformer, so using a machine. I don't love mat Pilates, which is Pilates on the ground, so I tend to stay away from that. Sometimes I will do yoga. Sometimes I will do strength training, either at home or at the gym if I feel called to do that. But I do try to get a lot of movement, meaning getting my steps in, getting out for walks. It's harder here now in Philly that it's getting hot, so I can't take my middle of the day walk like I used to because I just sweat and that's just like not my vibe. But I do try to prioritize movement when I can. So especially on the weekends, getting out, getting a walk in before it gets hot in the morning, doing an activity where I can move my body in some way. Maybe that is hiking. Maybe that's walking around a new town. Maybe that's just like being on my feet, like doing something physical, playing badminton, playing ping pong. Like I love any like summer games, summer activities. I want to be moving and that helps me feel good. So getting back to my morning routine, movement is so important for me to help me to feel good throughout the rest of my day. If I don't have time, I will try to do some gentle stretching and again, a short walk at least to help me move a little bit. Then I will go throughout the course of my day and I'm going to film another video on my schedule and my routine as a spiritual business owner. But so I don't take up too much of your time on that note, I'm going to focus this video just on personal spiritual practices and my personal practices and routine. So after I've done my morning routine, I'm going throughout the rest of my day. My day as a spiritual entrepreneur, to touch on that briefly, I spend a lot of time working on spiritual matters with my clients, channeling for them, channeling in the Akashic Records, being in deeper brainwave states in order to connect to their guides, helping them navigate family life, complicated personal situations, business stuff, business coaching. I also spend a lot of time, as you know, channeling to create content. So channeling for YouTube or for my Instagram page, So I spend a lot of time doing spiritual work in my day-to-day life. So a lot of my focus and time and energy is on that. So therefore, when it comes to my evening routine and doing other things, I personally find for myself that I need to take a break from the spiritual stuff in the evening. And here's why. Because that is my business, because that is what I do for a living, because I'm spending a lot of my time and energy channeling, I personally I can't do it all the time. It can be a lot. And I know that there are channelers, intuitives out there who that's what their focus is on. And then after they finish their business day, they are reading a book about spirituality and then they're back in meditation again. I can't do that. I'm like, no, you guys, like I want to enjoy the human stuff too. So after my workday is over, I'll do a brief ritual to clear my energy from working with my clients. So I'll set the intention to ask my guides to cut any cords with my clients. Sometimes I'll dance or shake my body to like really give myself a good cleanse. Again, I'll go for a walk. I'll do something to move my body after sitting all day. And then as I'm sort of winding down for the night, right now, I'm not reading a lot of spiritual books. I'm not watching spiritual content on TV or on social media. Because I spend a lot of my time helping my clients with generally very heavy life situations, I need to watch something lighter at the end of the day to kind of help counteract some of the heaviness and the density that I feel, to kind of help my body sort of move that through my system. So I watch a lot of fun reality TV shows. I watch a lot of like light shows on Netflix, or like I love shows like The Bachelor. I love shows like Married at First Sight. I love shows like the different matchmaking shows on Netflix, or Queer Eye, or just fun, uplifting shows that just like leave me in a good mood afterwards, or that have funny drama that I can like laugh with, you know? I can't watch anything heavy or dramatic or like negative or dense or horror or any of that. I can't participate in any of that after my workday. Again, I need something light, I need something fun, I need something fresh. Same goes for books. I do enjoy the occasional thriller book now and then. I love books about like life in different countries and places, especially like in the UK and Europe. And I just finished reading an amazing book about Alaska. So I love reading books. I love reading fiction books about women, their stories, and fun thrillers and different things like that. Again, right now I am not prioritizing the spiritual education or like, again, learning more. I want to have fun and enjoy my summer and enjoy my time to myself. So if that is you, and if you needed the permission slip to take a break from the self-help books, like here it is. I'm giving it to you. Take a break. It's okay to take a break. So then after I do kind of my fun evening routine, watch a show, read a book, do my skincare, get myself ready for bed, I really try to step away from the phone at night. It's not easy. I find it actually harder to give it up at night than in the morning, but it does help me get a better night of sleep. And if I have found that if I read before bed and spend some time connecting with my guides before bed, again, clearing my energy if I haven't done that in the middle of the day, then I sleep really well, and then I feel really good the next day. So really kind of setting the boundaries with the phone, with the social media, reading, and doing something to get me out of my head really helps. And then taking a few minutes to connect with my guides as well. Now, if I am really prioritizing my healing work and focusing on doing some of my inner work, maybe that's past life work, maybe that is childhood healing. I do all of that stuff, you too, guys. But I can't do it every night of the week. Like, oh my God, I would go crazy. You would go crazy. But I do go through phases where it is a priority, and I'm doing it 3 nights a week. Right now, because I've been traveling, focusing on other things, it's just not on my priorities list. But I know that as we get later into the summer and as summer turns into fall, I'm going to crave that again. I'm going to crave going inwards again. I am going to want to do more of the inner work. I'm always doing the inner work. But healing is seasonal. I really have found that for myself. You can't be doing the healing work all of the time. You will go crazy, right? So really, like, if you need to do the healing work, maybe you pick a couple of days out of the week to do that. Maybe you do it on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then the rest of the week you focus on other things, especially if you're doing it all the time and you have a consistent practice already. Maybe you just need to like slim it down a little bit, because it can be really re-traumatizing to your system if you're constantly forcing yourself to go back in meditation to childhood. However, if you've never done the healing work, or you've been putting it off, or you just can't seem to get very deep, that's definitely something you do need to focus on. And having a mentor to help support you in that is so incredible, because they show you the way. They show you what to focus on. They reflect back to you what the priorities are for your own healing, what they feel like your biggest blocks are. It's one of my favorite things that I do for my clients, is show them, okay, you need to work on this, 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 and this, and you're going to get to where you want to go. So find somebody, whether that's me or somebody else, who can help support you in that. And I promise you, it will make the inner work feel a lot less daunting and will feel more fun and more light, because you have somebody holding space for you and you're not going at it alone. It's so hard to go at it alone. Trust me. I have done that before. Now I have an amazing therapist. I have other amazing mentors and people who help, and friends who can help support me in the process. Yay. All right. I also wanted to chat just a little bit about some other important parts of my life that I really make time for and that I prioritize. So that's sort of my routine during the week. On the weekends, I don't spend as much time in meditation. I do still do the brief morning practice I shared with you, because it makes me feel good and it helps me so much. I love setting an intention on my weekend days, because you receive more, you're in the moment, you're enjoying it so much more. So I always make sure to do that. I always, again, try to prioritize being outside, being in nature, being in my body, moving around. Even if I'm not doing an exercise practice, at least I'm like walking the family dog, or taking a walk on the beach, or going to check out this cool new town and wandering around and like moving, right? So for me, it is so important to do things that inspire me on the weekends. You will not find me at home on the couch for a full weekend. You just won't. I feel not good if I do that. Sometimes on a Sunday, sure, especially during the winter, yes, you'll find me on the couch. But during the summer, I'm not going to be at home. I'm going to be out and about. Maybe I'm sitting on a beach, or maybe I'm sitting in the backyard with a book, but I'm like not inside, right? I'm not in front of the TV the whole day. So I have to do something, again, that inspires me and that gets me out of the house. So my boyfriend and I, we've been together for a very long time. We love, and one of our biggest priorities is exploration and adventure. So we are always trying new things. We're always going to the local small town that we've never been to before. We're always going to new restaurants. We're always checking out the latest cocktail bar that's just opened. And we're going to talk about alcohol in a second. We're always like trying something new and fun and different and fresh. And that inspires us and gives us new ideas. And also I get a lot of messages and downloads when I'm out and about and experiencing things. I don't if I'm just kind of sitting, moping around the house, right? I also do not have kids at this point in my life, so I'm able to just like follow my nose and do whatever I want to do and whatever my partner wants to do, which is really nice. I know that's not going to last forever, so I am making the most of the time that I have now to do stuff like that. We also love live music. We also, love concerts, music festivals, so we tend to go see a lot of shows when we can, and that's a lot of fun. And then for me, I do want to talk a little bit about diet, nutrition, and alcohol, because that's all sort of part of my lifestyle and the lifestyle that I'm choosing for myself right now. So because I am traveling a lot and I haven't really like been at home in my normal routine, my diet nutrition hasn't been a huge focus for me as of recently. And I know that that's not going to last forever. I also know that that will shift and change as the seasons change. So I'm enjoying kind of more of the freedom I have right now. But when I am at home, I do cook for myself during the week. I cook all of my own meals. I actually love cooking. I love working with food. It's one of my favorite things. So I love creating a meal plan for myself for the week. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I eat meat. I focus on organic protein sources, of course. But I do eat meat. I eat chicken. I eat fish. I eat some red meat. Rarely I cook it for myself. Turkey. Yeah, I said seafood, so different types of fish. I eat a lot of eggs. Again, I focus my food sources on organic foods. I try to limit my processed foods, especially when I'm cooking for myself. And then I do enjoy going out to eat on the weekends. I do enjoy ordering a fun meal on the weekends. I do love going to Wawa. I live in the Philadelphia area, so I love Wawa. I love having a breakfast sandwich from there. It's all good, you know? But it's not something I do every day, and it's not the type of food that I'm eating cumulatively every single day. It's all in moderation. It's all in balance. I love sweets and treats and dark chocolate and having, a nice sweet after my meals also. So for me, especially being an intuitive with my diet, I have found that if I am focusing on eating foods that make me feel good, that I also enjoy, I feel super intuitive. I feel great. I, feel like I have a lot of energy. I have gone through phases where I have done extreme detoxes and cleanses where I don't eat meat or carbs, and by carbs I mean gluten or dairy, and I don't feel great. I feel very ungrounded. I feel very floaty. I don't feel like my intuition is coming in more strongly at all. No way. I actually feel worse. And because I am so focused on the fact that I feel worse when I eat that way, because I'm not eating enough and I'm not grounding myself with meats and proteins, then it's not helpful for me. It feels good in the temporary, but over the long term, it just doesn't work for me. And that's what I found for myself personally. You may be different. You may really be sensitive to gluten or dairy or meat or whatever it is. And for you, you have to make that choice for yourself. But I know for me, again, focus on eating nutritious, organic, whole foods, fruits, and vegetables as much as I can. Treating myself to a couple of delicious meals on the weekend, great. I'm good. I'm good for the work I need to do. So that is what works for me now. And then in terms of alcohol, I do drink alcohol. I know there are a lot of channelers, spiritual people, intuitives out there that do not. And this is my personal choice. I drink alcohol on the weekends. I'll go out to a fancy cocktail bar. Amazing. I'm going to have a couple glasses of wine while I'm sitting on the porch with my family members. Great. I love that. It's just the connection, the joy that comes from drinking a good glass of wine. I'm obsessed with it. Before the pandemic, my family and I were going on wine tasting trips. So I am obsessed with wine, the winemaking process, the flavor, the taste, like picking up on the subtle nuances of different varietals of wine. I love it. It is something that is very important to me personally, and it is not something that I feel like I need to give up in order to be more spiritual or raise my vibration. Have I gone through phases where I have had no alcohol? Yes. Do I feel like it has made my intuition better? No, actually I don't at all. So for me, if I am enjoying it in moderation, I'm great. Am I drinking every night of the week? Hell no, that's not good for anybody, right? I'm not drinking every single night of the week. But is it okay for me on a Friday night to, again, have those couple of glasses of wine on the patio? Hell yeah. So if that is you, like, give yourself the permission slip to enjoy that if you can do so in moderation. Now, I know a lot of people have alcohol dependency issues. A lot of people in the spiritual community struggle with addiction and struggle with dependency on substance use and abuse. That is not me. So I know for myself that I can have the wine and cut it off when I need to cut it off, or cut it out of my life. I could cut it out of my life tomorrow, and would I be disappointed about saying goodbye to my wine? Sure, I would, but I could do it. It wouldn't mentally, there isn't an addiction there, is what I'm trying to say. So again, that's going to depend on you and your body. You know your body. You know what is good for you and what is not good for you. I also don't smoke weed, not my thing. I gave it a try in college, as everybody does, but I find that makes me super ungrounded and opens up my psychic senses in a way that does not feel good. It feels very, to me, vibrationally, ugh, there's something there. It feels there's like an unclean energy there that I personally do not like. Some people feel that way with alcohol. For me, it's weed, not my thing. So I don't smoke weed. I haven't, yeah, I don't smoke weed. And again, that's me. That's my personal preference. You may be different. You may be like, alcohol is evil and plant medicine is the medicine of the gods. Great. If that works for you, then that works for you. So yeah, plant medicine, not my thing. Weed, not my thing. But do I like to have my wine on the patio? Yes, I do. Okay. End of end of my rant. Anyway, I hope all of this fun information about me and my lifestyle has helped show you that maybe you're being a little too rigid with yourself or strict with yourself, or maybe you're not really giving yourself the freedom to try new ways of doing your routine, or to give yourself more time to focus on you and personal loves and interests. I still want you to live a life that you love. And I don't want you to feel tied into a religious practice that's going to make you feel resentful over the long term. The reason why many of us choose spirituality over a religion is to get away from that, the dogma and the rigidity. And so I want this to give you and open your mind and expand you into seeing that your lifestyle can be more open and free-flowing and easygoing than perhaps you make it. And again, you have to decide what you prioritize, right? So if you're going to prioritize fun and you're going to think less about your nutrition and your health, well, you may find that your body changes a little bit. Maybe you do gain a couple extra pounds, but maybe that's the way your body needs to express itself in this moment, And that's okay. So give yourself the permission slip. Take the load off. It's the summertime, hopefully, as you're watching this video. So give yourself permission to have fun. I'm giving you permission to have fun. I love you so much. Thank you for listening to this. And I will see you in the next video.